Hello, hi, welcome to today's video, and this is Africa's Talking. Today we have a special guest with us. We have Diram with us, and I will just allow her to introduce herself, tell us a bit more about who she is. Hi, Diram.
Hi, my name is Dam Bora. I am a software engineer by profession. I am also a community manager. I also create tech content to simplify tech concepts and have a wider reach of tech. That is what I primarily do.
Interesting. Welcome, Diram.
Thank you.
Welcome. You are a software engineer.
Yeah.
But even before we get there, let's start with how we came to interact. Now, this was a very interesting story. There was a video that we just saw somewhere and realized, someone is making some great content. Tell us about this video.
Okay. So I am a tech content creator, and I love creating tech content to simplify concepts and also make my content have a wider reach, especially for people who can't see this content, because every other person is on LinkedIn posting professional content and also on Twitter. So I thought, let me do this different this time round. Mm-hmm. So I decided to capture some of the top events that are going to happen in Nairobi, Kenya. Mm-hmm. And I made a video that people should attend the Africa's Talking Summit. And that is how my video blew up, and that's how we connected.
Interesting. Now we'll get to the digital marketing and the content creation in a minute. But even before we get there, you have said you are a software engineer.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about that. How is software engineering for you? Is it something you always wanted since you were a kid? It was your dream to be a software engineer, or how did you land in this field?
Okay, so it was my dream to become a software engineer, although when I was younger, I didn't have a clear vision of what I wanted to become, but I knew I would punch keyboards, and I want to know what these computers are doing. And actually remember having this one of the oldest IBM PCs at our home, and I would just punch the keyboard. I was fascinated by the function keys mostly, and I wanted to know what they were doing, but at the time I really didn't understand what that was. So fast forward to after my high school studies is when I decided I wanted to venture into tech, and that's how I started breaking into tech. So I pursued my bachelor's in information technology. And that's how I tapped into software engineering. After that, I started working for companies, and I can say it's been an amazing journey, of course, with its own challenges, which I have been able to overcome. And it's a continuous journey. I mean, I keep learning every day, and I'm so grateful.
Interesting. It's fun to know that you are fascinated by function keys. I don't know how many children even discovered there were function keys on a keyboard. So that definitely was a sign that this was your field and you had something special.
Yeah.
That's very good to know. You did information technology?
Yes.
And then what really drew you to software engineering? Because information technology is why there's cybersecurity, there's all other facets of information technology, but you particularly went to software engineering. Why is that?
Okay, so when I started venturing into software engineering, I started with web development, and I felt that I was seeing a real-time result, because if I am developing a website using, let's say, HTML and CSS, I would see an instant result of the website. Mm-hmm. So I was really fascinated by that, and I knew that for me to venture into software engineering, then of course I had to start with the basics. Mm-hmm. So I decided I would start with web and then transitioned into Android development. So I chose software engineering because apart from having instant results of everything I was developing, I felt like I needed to address some of the problems in the society, build products to help other people, and give solutions to today's problems. So that is what uh, drew me into software engineering, and also the passion. I had passion for software engineering, so I thought, let me take the leap and make it happen.
Take the leap and make it happen.
Yeah.
Very, very good words. I see you have great passion for problem solving and offering solutions, especially in the community, and just problems that you see here and there that you can solve with code or with your technical knowledge.
Yeah.
Any initiatives that you've done or anything in that line with regards to problem solving that you're a part of?
Okay. So one of the things I have worked on for the companies I was in was one remarkable solution was a taxi hailing app for women, because in today's age we've seen women experiencing challenges when they are commuting. So these challenges can be challenges of insecurity, and sometimes they feel like they do not have the privacy. So that's one of the problems that I feel like is remarkable, and it's the best actually. Yeah.
Wow, solving a problem for a niche market, ladies
Yeah.
in the community,
Yeah.
which is a big problem that they're facing.
Yes.
That's very, very, very good to look at. In the African continent generally, when it comes to the tech space, since you have been here for a minute, for a while, you have seen things that are useful and what and what. What's your take on how the tech space is at the moment? Is there any progress? Are people coming up with better initiatives to help solve more problems? How's it been so far?
Okay. So there's been a huge progress, I can say, because one, we've seen solutions that have been tailor-made to the local communities, such as Africa's talking. I mean, to the African perspective. So I feel like there's a huge improvement, and especially we've also seen the growth of startups in Africa, and people are coming up with different solutions in different domains. We've seen from the Web3 ecosystem to software engineering in general. We've seen initiatives that come out of products that are being built. I can say it's characterized by innovation, because we wake up every day and new products are being launched. And the other thing I can say is that it is actually steadily growing, because most of these startups are also employing software engineers that are coming up. And we've also seen that these software engineers go on and create their own products. Yeah. So the growth has been brought to the African perspective, because even some of the people who are not in Africa, they come to Africa to invest in businesses that are here. And of course, the main reason they do that is because they've seen a potential. So Africa has a very big potential, and we've seen the tech ecosystem is really growing, even when it comes to training individuals, because not everybody has had an opportunity to tap into tech or break into tech. So there are so many initiatives, even women-led initiatives, that focus on training people, and also focusing on sourcing talent from the African tech ecosystem. So I can say there's a really huge progress.
There's big progress. There's women-led initiatives. There's a lot of startups in the African tech ecosystem.
Yeah.
But it actually means that there is no better time than now to empower the African tech ecosystem, because it seems to be headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
In your opinion, while we're on empowering the African tech ecosystem, which products or systems do you believe have the potential to, grow, scale further, or you've used or interacted with that you think this can be the way to empower the African tech ecosystem?
Okay. A very good example I can give is the Africa's Talking. And I have seen the tech ecosystem in Africa's Talking grow from way back, actually, when I was in campus. That must be about 4 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and I remember that time I was actually coming for a meetup, and they were educating us on APIs, communication APIs, and people had so many questions, and of course other people had come to have ideas of troubleshooting the APIs that they were using, and so I can say for the Africa Talking, it's really doing a good work, because now the, the technology we are using has been brought down to the African perspective, and people are not just running to the solutions that are not in the African tech space. And of course, for me, the first thing I would think of is Africa's Talking. If I want to use the APIs for communication and payment, for instance, I would first think about Africa's Talking. And for me, I have a passion for community, and I feel like communities are powerful. And all this time, I have been seeing the Africa Talking community, which has also grown, and even taking in more people to train them on what exactly they're doing. And I understand they will also have the Africa Talking Summit, which is going to be a huge thing. Yeah.
Interesting. Now, APIs just provide an interface to help your application communicate to the server. And like she has said, we have communication APIs that you can plug into your solutions to enable services such as SMS, USSD, voice, airtime, which work all through the continent. So that is a good example of APIs or services that can be used to empower the African tech ecosystem. And you've also mentioned an upcoming summit. But before we get there, let's not get there yet. Let's start with something else. This upcoming summit, or how we first met you, was when you made this video talking about that very summit. So you use the social media space a lot, and you have done a lot in the digital space with regards to tech. Tell us a bit about that and what you do in the social media space.
Okay. So what I do on the social media space is to create awareness about tech in general, because I feel like there's a gap. There are people who are still in the dark when it comes to even the process of breaking into tech. They don't know where to start from. And this initiative started when some people would physically approach me and ask me how to go about the tech landscape, or how they can break into tech. And I felt like, let me take this to a platform, because if I meet people in my space that are asking me about tech, then how many people on the social media space want to hear about that? So many. And once I started creating the content and creating this awareness, then I found my tribe. And that is how I started building my own thriving community on the social media space. Because some of these people are people that support me through my journey, because I started with documenting my journey in tech, doing basic things like 100 days of code.
Yeah.
And when people saw that, they started supporting me. Shortly after, some people also started asking me how they can get started with coding. And I thought, let me also create content about that and guide them, because most of them in my community wanted to know, they were interested about coding, because that's what I do. So I felt like I should guide them and tell them about my journey, so that they can also understand these things. And, some people will say, but they can do this on LinkedIn, or they can do this on Twitter. You see, on LinkedIn, we only have professionals who are coming to say that they've made progress on something, they got a job somewhere. But there are people who want to see, how did you get that job? Or how can I even get started? Yeah. So I thought, let me take this to my Instagram page because not many people are doing that, especially in the Kenyan tech ecosystem.
True.
I know most of us have looked at Instagram as a lifestyle app where we just go and post our pictures, but we've not thought of actually tapping into the tech niche. And once I found my niche on social media, then I found my own community. Yeah.
Interesting. So using the digital space, so using digital marketing is one way to empower the African tech ecosystem.
Yeah.
And you said you found your niche on Instagram, which is interesting because most people would expect, like you said, LinkedIn or maybe even tech Twitter, but not quite Instagram. They take it as a lifestyle app where we're just there to look flashy. But you took that narrative and you ran with it and you turned it into a beautiful, beautiful space for the tech ecosystem. Tell us about your journey so far with on Instagram now. How do you said you started by just giving people snippets on how to get started with coding, but how do you, if you were to just be asked about your random day on social media, assuming that you still do work, but now your day on social media, how do you plan around that? How do you do sampling of maybe tech events or different languages or projects just to help people understand how to set that up?
Okay. So as I have mentioned, I already have a thriving community of people who are following my journey. And the journey started by me documenting 100 days of code. Just taking a random picture of my PC and then posting it and saying, hi guys, today this is what I worked on. So basically walking the journey of my 100 days of code from day 1 to day 100. Yeah. And so many people were fascinated by that journey and they actually wanted to join me because, one of the ways of doing 100 days of code very well is by documenting it because now you feel like you have people to show what you're doing and you cannot fail them. So you have to code every single day. And on the days that I didn't manage, I would still come back to my audience and tell them, hello, I've had a busy week.
Yeah.
Or my past 2 days have been very busy.
Yeah.
And this is what I've done. That's how I would share my updates. And involving my followers on my on every step of my journey really helped because I felt like these are people I talk to every day. It's like a community, or rather people you even live with and you share with them your life. Not your life as such, but when it comes to tech.
Yeah.
So on Tuesdays I have a Q&A session, or rather a story session. It's called Tech Bites Tuesday, where it's either a highlight new things in tech, or I ask people to contribute to a particular topic, or just a simple Q&A and answer their questions. So of course, having a busy days, I cannot manage to answer questions every day, but I decided let me have a dedicated session for that. So if it's on a Tuesday, I do answer questions and I take my time to even reply to those DMs and even guide people. And then I have a plan for my content. So you see, for digital creation on Instagram, there's a plan you need to have, especially when you already have a niche. So if today I'm having a post about how to break into tech, I want to make that really interesting. And so let's say I use a reel. So on a random day, or on a day I'm supposed to post, then that means I will have shoot my content, of course on video. And then when it comes to that day, now I just edit, and because I have the plan already, I edit it according to whatever I had planned on my calendar. So once I post, I also start engaging with people, because there are people who stream into your DMs and ask questions about that particular post. So I know that I have to answer those questions. And I also have to share my current post and show people that, hey, I have a new post. Go and check it out. And some of these posts come from my audience. And shout out to my followers, actually. They do give me ideas, and they DM me and tell me, I want you to cover this. I want you to talk about this. And so if they tell me that, since I listen to them, it's a community, I mean. So I just go and create that post and even share with them. So that's my day of creating content.
Interesting. Good to know. You can take this opportunity for those who maybe have not heard of your handle, or where can they see this content?
They can see the content on Diram.Tech.
Diram.Tech.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you're on Instagram, Diram.Tech, coach.
And TikTok as well.
And TikTok.
Yeah.
All
and you
right.
can also cross over to Twitter, which is still Diram.
Nice.
Yeah.
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Stay updated.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, in that specific video as well, you were talking about tech events, where you mentioned the Africa's Talking Summit, which is coming up in a few, and we just can't wait, because this summit will be big. This summit will be big. It will be big, 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 and we can't wait. So you have attended a lot of tech events?
Yes. The last one being API Festival.
API Fest.
Actually, when I attended API Festival and I posted that on TikTok, some people came to my comments and said, you didn't tell us about this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It means so many people don't know about these events. That's what I noticed, because I think there could be gatekeeping, especially for people who want to come to these events and they don't know about them, because most of the people that hear about these events are either people who are in the tech ecosystem or have friends that are in the tech ecosystem. So I was really surprised to find out that there are some people who really didn't know about it. So they will DM me and tell me that next time, please tell us about the next event. Yeah, we want to come with you.
Yeah.
So I really didn't expect that, and that's how I felt like there's a gap. Yeah. And so one day I sat down and sampled all the events, all the top events that we are having. And since a friend had sent to me the one for Africa's Talking, I felt like this one will be really interesting and it must actually be in the list. And when I shared, I also saw that people were so interested, because now the engagement on my post was really showing. Other people came to comment and they were like, thank you, thank you for sharing. And it was really interesting.
All right. Now, with that in mind, how would you, for example, one, where do you find these events? As you said, most people don't know them. You tell them about them. One, where do you find them? And then two, if someone wants to attend a tech event or is looking forward to it, how would you tell them where to get started? Like, what should they prepare? Should they get ready, just get psyched up and come ready to learn, carry a laptop? What do they need to do?
Okay. So first of all, I would say for me, it's easier to know about these events since I'm already in the ecosystem. I am in communities. I am in Telegram channels. And I'm also on Twitter. I follow other tech enthusiasts. So I see that through the tech ecosystem. But for anyone who wants to start out, there is an application called Meetup. And it actually highlights all the events that are happening, whether physical or online. So you can go to Meetup application and even filter according to what you want. Let's say if you only want tech events, you can filter from that, and then you'll find those events. So for me, I actually utilize Meetup also, because sometimes I might not be aware of these events. And some of these events are not highlighted. It's not easy unless somebody's coming to tell people to buy tickets. Then it's also not very easy for me to know. So that's why I also use Meetup. Yeah.
And then if someone wants to get going for their first tech event, what do they need to carry? A laptop? Is it hands-on? Is it speaking, or it depends?
Yeah, it just depends. So for some events, like study jams and code jams, you need to carry your laptop because it's going to get a bit practical. But for other summits, like DevFest, and other tech summits that do not require you to carry anything, then you just go with your ticket.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now we are gearing up for the Africa's Talking Summit, which you mentioned you had a ticket to?
Yeah.
Awesome. These are some of the privileges of being part of the AT developers community. You get access, such as having first-hand access to our promo tickets, which were given to our nerds, #WeLoveNerds. Speaking of the AT Summit, which is coming on the 26th to 28th of October this year, 2023, the theme is empowering the African tech ecosystem, very much in line with what we've discussed and very much in line with what you do. So what would you say you're looking forward to the most from the summit?
Okay. So I do love updates from companies that are developing good stuff. So I'm expecting Africa's Talking to tell me, or other people that are coming to the event, to tell us about what is new that they have. You know, we've been here for so many years, and we want to hear what are some of the interesting things that Africa's Talking has come up with. And for me, since I'm a community enthusiast, I would also like to see how they are empowering how they're empowering members of the community in that event. Yeah.
Interesting. The ball is in Africa's Talking court, but safe to say you will not be disappointed. It will be worth it. It will be a big event, but it's good to know you're looking forward to updates and you're looking forward to see how the company is actually empowering the African tech space. Right. Anything else that has you excited for this summit? What made you really run to get a ticket the moment you saw it?
Okay. So so from a general point of view, I am a regular attendee of events and summits. So I knew I just must attend, you know, regardless of I just needed to attend. And the other thing is that I wanted to know, I felt like I would see some sort of like a new face of AT, because it's been a while since I even came to Africa's Talking premises, and you know, it's been a while since I came for events. So I felt like maybe I might get a new angle of Africa's Talking, and I would like to know what has been there that some of the people like us who haven't been coming to the study jams and all these events, what new thing can we learn from the summit? And then also networking with other professionals. I understand that Africa's Talking is a very powerful community with so many professionals. So I also felt like I need to network with these professionals and see what people are doing in the African tech ecosystem.
Yeah. All right. I will reiterate. Summit will be on the 26th to 28th of October 2023, and we'll be having a 4-day hackathon right from 25th. So this will be exciting. Or the developer community will be engaged, the entire tech ecosystem, and anyone who is in the tech ecosystem will be there. Your chance to network, talk to them, and just have a chance to grow your circle and your reach, right? Amazing. Any last words, parting shot?
So since we are talking about community, I would tell people to not miss out on events, and they should also join tech communities if they want to connect with people and see what other people are doing. It's very important. Yeah.
Very true. I agree. It's very important to be in communities. I would definitely must agree, because I am Sylvia Chebet and I work in developer relations at Africa's Talking, so managing the developer community. That being said, I look forward to seeing you at the summit, and everyone who's listening and watching, looking forward to see you at the Africa's Talking Summit, the AT Summit 2023. It'll be fun. That's it from us. We love nuts.